Hello, everybody. Sorry. Hello, everybody. Welcome to Critical Beauty Salon. You have to excuse me. I'm barely recuperating from a cold, so I do apologize. My voice seems a little hoarse. Hello, everybody. But Critical Beauty. Let me see. Tonight, we will have an amazing chat group, and we're going to talk about the best of pageantry in 2022. I've invited three guests, Hector Joaquin, Brian Javier, and Rina Hendrick, our new special guest from Namibia. So we're just waiting for them to enter the chat room. I hope everybody's doing fine, having a wonderful weekend. And if you haven't subscribed to my channel, please do so by clicking subscribe and the bell icon below so you can receive the latest notification for the next video. All right, so we're just waiting for the guests to enter the room. And if you have any questions, feel free to post your comment in the chat box below, and I'll be more than happy to read them to the viewers. I think we have Rina and Brian entering the room. All right. Hey, everybody. Hey. We're live on YouTube right now. Hopefully the connection is good. So it's, let's see. Also, by the way, if you guys saw the recently concluded Miss Charm 2023 finals that took place in Vietnam, if you have any comments, let us know, and we're more than happy to share our own thoughts about this pageant. Okay, connection is very slow. Brian, can you hear me?
Hi.
Hey, Miss Rina Hendrick, how are you doing?
I am actually doing okay. I just woke up, so excuse me for my little blunder there with the technology.
Well, I commend you for getting up at 4 o'clock in the morning to join us. And I know it's the time difference between the US East Coast and Namibia, I believe, is 7 hours.
It's a lot, but I am more than happy to be here and talking about pageantry with you today, Rafa. Thank you so much for inviting me once again.
Oh, no, you're welcome. Actually, the pleasure is mine. I've always wanted to actually invite you to my group chat because a couple of your followers actually recommended you to me. And they said, you know, Rafa, you need to invite Rina to your show. She is amazing. We love her commentaries, love her reviews. And lo and behold, I started following you on your channel and I saw several of your commentaries and videos. And I said, oh, what? I have to have her on my show. She's one of those upcoming new pageant vloggers. And I definitely have to have her on my show. So, and thank God you're here at 4 o'clock in the morning.
Like I said many times, I would literally do anything for pageantry. The amount of times that I have gotten up at 2, 3, 4 in the morning, I think a lot of South African and Namibian pageant fans can relate to this because this is usually the time that Miss Universe happens in Namibia. And so we're used to this, is what I'm basically trying to say. And thank you so much to my subscribers for recommending Rafa, invite me on. You guys are such angels.
And we also have Brian Javier. Hi, Brian.
Hi, how are you guys?
Ooh.
Hi, Rina.
We have a new hairdo.
Hi.
You know, we were just playing around last night and I was like, oh, whatever, we'll just leave it for today. We were just playing around with my hair. And this kind of stuck. So that's what we're getting today.
I'm actually liking it.
Yeah.
I really do. Yeah. I'm
It's like a
actually liking
little,
it.
yeah, it was kind of fun. So I decided to experiment, and I'm happy to be here though. And hi, Rina. Hi, Rafa. Thank you for having me again. Lots to say about pageantry in 2022.
Oh, I know. So I believe Rina and Brian, this is the first time you've actually met, correct?
I think so. Yeah, I think I've probably seen a video or two before from hers, but first time I meet her, yes, virtually.
Okay. Since Rina is our new special guest, I'd like to ask you a few questions, if you don't mind. What prompted you to follow pageants?
Well, I actually joined, it's a funny story. I actually joined my first pageant when I was like 17. It was my high school pageant. Funnily enough, the reigning Miss Supranational from 2021, I went to high school with her, and she was my predecessor as my high school pageant reigning queen or whatever. But I didn't know anything about pageantry, and I honestly didn't care to learn anything until 2 years later, after I've left school. Of course, we had Demi Peters from South Africa win Miss Universe. And I actually grew up in South Africa, so I was very much still emotionally attached to South Africa. I still am. All of my family lived there. And when Demi won Miss Universe, that actually prompted me to start following pageantry. I had to go watch the rerun because I actually didn't watch it live. And from then on, I started getting deeper and deeper into the pageant community. For 2018, I actually wrote down all of the contestants and all of their statistics and tried to make my own like little prediction. But it wasn't until 2020, of course, during COVID and everything, I had lost my job as a teacher, and I was at home bored, of course, as we all were during that time. And I started making YouTube videos about pageantry, and that's really where everything kicked off for me.
Okay, wonderful. So you're actually originally from South Africa.
Yes, I grew up in South Africa. So I grew up near Johannesburg, which is the huge like metropolis type of city in South Africa, until the age of 14, where I moved to Namibia.
Yeah. So how does that work? Do you have dual citizenship? You're both Namibian and South African?
Well, I'm not actually Namibian yet. I was adopted by Namibians, but I didn't get Namibian citizenship. I do have Namibian permanent residency, meaning that I can legally live here. So please don't come for my ass. And I can work and do everything, but I still have my South African citizenship.
Okay, that's wonderful. I think I'm hearing some feedback from your side, Rina. I think, yeah.
What type of maybe it's my hair, probably.
I think your earphone, yeah, your earphone rather.
Okay. Should I do this? Does this help?
Yeah, well, that's much better, but I don't want you to do that. Can you do without the earphone? Can you hear better without the earphone?
Maybe. Well, let me just put it off and then I'll see.
Okay. So while you're doing that, hello everybody. So there are 14 people watching us now. Phil, our good friend Phil, Brian, is watching.
Hey, Phil.
I don't know why Phil can't join us.
I know.
He has all the time in the world to watch us, but he can't join us. Hello, Phil. Marithel Garonga. Hi, Rafa. Hi, Brian. Hi, Marithel. Thank you to everybody who's watching the show from wherever you are. I know it's morning, it's afternoon, it's evening, all parts of the world. But and please welcome our beloved guests today, Brian and Rina. Peter Serino, the other invited guest, will join us shortly later today. Apparently, I think he's traveling. He's on his way to return. He's on his return trip to his hometown in Tasmania. And I don't know what happened with Hector. This is really one thing that bothers me about Hector. He says
always.
He said he'd be more than happy to join us. But then again, I texted him, like, where the hell are you? Okay, did you forget again? Or did you fall asleep? I don't know.
That's a trademark of his.
Hopefully Either that or just he's getting dementia. I don't know. He's reaching that stage where he's forgetting everything. Okay.
Oh God.
All right. So before we get to the main topic of our group chat, several things have happened, of course, recently in the pageant world. As you know, Miss Universe, ever since the new owner, Khun JKN, took over Miss Universe organization, she has implemented several changes, which angered some of the fans, but also satisfied some other fans. So it's a mixed bag of reactions. Personally, I consider myself as a traditionalist because I grew up watching Miss Universe, from the 80s, 90s. I love their productions. I love the organization. There was no drama. Everything was based on the title holder and the contestants, not so much so on the owner. But of course, when Donald Trump took over, everything changed. Now the whole world also wanted wanted Donald Trump to do more. Considering that he had a very big personality, you could not ignore Donald Trump for who he was. So, but now here comes this Queen Anne. We call her Queen Anne now because I think deep down inside she wants to be Miss Universe. She has this fantasy of becoming Miss Universe, and I think that's the main reason why she bought Miss Universe organization, is because she wants to be the center and the face of Miss Universe. Okay. And I think it's half a day late. It was your birthday, February 17th. So, Queen Anne, if you're watching my show, I know you blocked me, but nevertheless, if any of your followers are watching my show, happy birthday, girl. Okay, you don't look good at all at 44, honey. You look much older.
Oh God, don't start. I need Peter here. Peter, get here already.
Yeah, we need our resident snowflake Peter to defend Queen Anne. So anyway, and now what she's doing is that she has apparently disappointed and angered some national directors because she started going in this bidding war. I know maybe you guys can help me because I'm not exactly sure or 100% sure what this bidding war, or is it really a bidding war, or is it just a strategy in her part to make more money or to restructure the organization, etc. Rina, what do you think?
Yeah, the way I see this bidding war, I don't know if you can hear me better now.
I can hear you now. Yeah,
Okay.
Much better.
So the way I understand this bidding war is just that they're going to be much more selective with the national organizations that works with them. As a Namibian, I think this is actually a positive change because we've had the same raggedy national organizations sending women to Miss Universe since 1980. And you know what? I'm sick of the failure, okay? I want someone else to take over. If there's any millionaire from Namibia watching, please, I'll just give it to someone else with money because I want to see something. Our national organization is so raggedy that the title holders allegedly have to find sponsors after they've won for flights to the international pageant that they are representing Namibia at. So for me, if the Miss Universe organization is insisting on a budget, I'm okay with that. I'm 100% okay with that. Now, I know there's some other countries in the world who are 100% okay with the organization that they have running things now because that organization may deliver results. Mm-hmm. But for me, I see it from a different point of view. We have an organization that hasn't delivered results since 2003. And so I would like to see change. And I like that the universe is sort of forcing change in that regard.
Mm-hmm. So Namibia has placed 20 years ago, right? That was the last time Namibia placed in Miss Universe 20 years ago?
Yeah, in 2003, yes.
Wow, that's quite a long time ago. Brian, what do you think of this bidding wars?
So I have a lot to say. I literally have like a whole video.
Don't
that
hold
I
back. Say
recorded.
everything. Pour it out. Pour it out.
Brian is trying to push us to go watch his video instead of giving us his opinion here.
No, I'm gonna tell you. But you should see the video because I'll extend more. But I haven't recorded it yet. So yeah, just to explain a little bit more of what it is exactly. So it's not a bidding war like people say. So traditionally in Miss Universe, anyone could go and email Miss Universe and tell them, hey, I want to put up the pageant. I want to own the franchise for this year, and I have this much money, and I'm willing to offer this and this and this. Any year, anyone could do that. So it's not something new in the sense that people could do that. What is new is, with all my respect, Anne is giving her best friend, started giving her best friend a franchise because she is her best friend. And I get it. I would probably do the same thing. Why would I not tell Rafa, hey, Rafa, I'm going to be the national director of Miss USA. Do you want to be part of it? I would. You're my friend. Of course I would. So I get it. And I have no issue with that. What made an issue in the Miss Universe community was that you're taking a pageant away from someone like Puteri Indonesia that has been with Miss Universe organization for 20 years, has been loyal to the brand, has invited your Miss Universe every single year. It is kind of a slap in the face when you hear the organizers of Puteri say, hey, we didn't know anything about this. This just came out of nowhere. It is not so there was some comments from Anne, from Khun saying, hey, this was just some kind of like lost in translation. No, it doesn't seem like a loss in translation. And the pageant community is not stupid. We know, most of us know what is really going on. And it wasn't a loss in translation. It was a miscommunication. It was a lack of communication, better said. And that's why the Miss Universe pageant community got so upset and so mad. Then we see so many pageants. I think 5 already: Malaysia, Indonesia, Mauritius, Seychelles, Ghana, Belize, all smaller countries, with the exception of Indonesia. But they're all leaving, and they've had these long-running track records of loyal national directors, and it's sad. It's sad to see. So I understand that change could be overwhelming, and I think there's been so much change in Miss Universe since Khun took over that it's very overwhelming, and everything is kind of like a whirlwind, even before, because with the adding pregnant women and all that has been a lot. But I always try to play devil's advocate, and I try to see the other side, and I understand. I always say this is a business, and I understand what she's trying to do. So the objective, allegedly, from Miss Universe is to look and learn at the structure of Miss Universe. This, when you at face value, it's a really good idea. You want to learn the structure. If we really start analyzing, we know that we have people that are new, people that have not had the experience in the pageant community. Miss Universe organization has been the one that has been carrying the franchises, the organization for since IMG, because IMG was just there as IMG and that's it. Mm-hmm. So you have these new people that don't really know what is going on in Miss Universe and how it works. So at face value, yeah, it's a good idea. We want to know what's your budget. We want to make sure that everyone gets, everyone is known, everyone in the organization knows what you can provide. I can reveal some tea, and I'm going to take the liberty. I'm going to take the liberty and tell the pageant community that when I was at Miss Universe, I had the opportunity various times to talk with a new creative director, and I voiced many, many, many opinions from the pageant community, from national directors to him, and I felt like they were being taken in consideration, and it proved it a little bit more when I saw what the national directors had to fill out.
Mm-hmm. We lost
some people in pageants. Just like, I don't know, I can mention Miss U updates. We've talked in private about the concerns we have about what Rina just said about organizations just letting their girl have the title and you got to figure everything out, and it's not right. It's a lot of work. And then you're using Miss Universe as your personal business, which is okay, but don't leave the contestant just stranded, finding her way, going to Miss Universe by herself. It's really sad. Morty, at Miss Universe, there was a contestant that literally walked in. She was one of the later ones. No one was paying attention to her. She didn't have a national director there. She didn't have any of the Miss Universe organization guiding her and telling her where she had to go. I literally had to step up. Me and a fellow colleague had to step up and be like, hey, do you know where you're going? Like, what's going on? She's like, I don't know. No one's telling me anything. Like, I'm not even sure where I'm supposed to go. We had to take her where she had to go. So I understand that these organizations, they want to see that, and they're taking that in consideration. But then when the pageant community see questions on that application or that business structure, like, what is your revenue for the pageant in the past years? It makes us think, always try to play devil's advocate. It makes us think, what if you just want to know how much we lost or how much we won? And if we won, you're going to raise our franchise fee because you're going to be like, well, they're making more money. Let's make more money. It is a battle, a conflict in so many questions that national directors have had and organizations have had and the pageant community has had, because we always stand behind the national directors and everyone that produces this. I could keep on going. There's a lot. There's really a lot. But I understand what they're trying to do. I understand that they're trying to find out the structure, but maybe be a little bit more transparent. I hate when people act like we're stupid. And it happens a lot. It happens in jobs. It happens in life in general. People try to fool you and pretend like we're stupid, and we're not stupid. We see things and we look at everything. We have plenty of time to analyze and look at the possibilities. And yeah, don't treat the pageant community. The pageant community has so much power and they don't realize it. And I think that hopefully they start learning that we're not stupid and we see every side, and you should listen to us a little bit more because we've been here for a very long time.
I totally agree. You know what? In the olden days, if you were a national director and you applied for a franchise license fee from the Miss Universe organization, they give you all the paperwork to fill out, proof of citizenship and all the requirements. Your winner has to be crowned in the country that she is representing, but they never ask a budget. They never really had a budget proposal. I think they left it to the discretion of the national director to spend any amount of money they wanted. Also, in the olden days, especially coming from the smaller countries which do not have a lot of pageant support, the national director would actually assign or appoint a young woman coming from a well-off or a wealthy background, and she herself ended up paying.
Not just in small countries, in Venezuela as well.
Other countries as well.
Rico as well. It's happened everywhere.
Yeah. So
you know why, Rafa? I'm sorry for cutting you off, but you know why? It's because when you're a national director, every single year could be different. One year you could have 20 contestants. The next year you could have 10. The following year you could have 30. It's all relative. It's all fluctuation. And you don't have necessarily, a lot of these countries don't have necessarily $100,000 just laying in their bank account ready for the next year of the pageant. They have to look for sponsors, and sponsors change. Sponsors don't necessarily want to give the same amount every single year. Sometimes they want to give you more. Sometimes they don't want to really give you anything. Sometimes they just want to give you, hey, here's some English lessons, and that's all we're going to give you. So it fluctuates. And you asking national directors and organizations, hey, what's your budget? They could potentially not be able to tell you what their budget is because everything fluctuates per year.
That's true. Rina, what do you think?
I think, yeah, what you said about national directors specifically choosing women who came from wealthy backgrounds, I think that's very much still prevalent in Namibia specifically, because I see the type of, I want to say trials, the type of things the women have to do pre-pageant. For example, Miss Debutante, they have to raise this exorbitant amount of money. Nothing is ever said about that money going to charity or anything, so I suppose it's just for the pageant. And then there's, entry fees. And I think definitely in smaller pageant countries, I can only speak for Namibia, but I think in smaller pageant countries, the national directors still very much prefer to crown wealthier contestants. But then again, you know, having one wealthy contestant can only do so much. It costs an insane amount of money, to be properly prepared for Miss Universe. And even if your father is some brain surgeon in Namibia, right, it's still probably only going to cover the basics. And we just need someone who has proper money to take over the license for Miss Universe in these smaller countries. Now, don't get me wrong, this isn't my philosophy for every single country. I am from South Africa. If the Miss South Africa organization were to lose their Miss Universe license, I would riot in the streets because they have been doing everything correctly.
Rina, and it's not only money in that organization. It's not money only in that organization. It's also passion. And that's what a lot of people might not have. So to add what you're saying, yes, they need money, but they also need passion. They need to want. There's islands, example, Dominican Republic, Magali maybe doesn't have the biggest budget, but she works hard for her contestant. So you need passion and want apart from having that budget.
Yes, I definitely
understand
what you're saying, though.
Well, speaking of passion, when I think of Anne, she has a passion for making money, but I don't think she has a passion for pageantry. It's all about her. For Pete's sake, she just acquired a private jet for Miss Universe.
Such a bad move.
Isn't the philosophy of Miss Universe all about sustainability and fighting
hypocrisy? It continues, unfortunately.
Global warming.
Unfortunately, pageants keep falling into the hypocrisy of saying, oh, we do this, world hunger, stop the war, sustainability, and then they leave it where? They leave it on stage when they're talking and it never translates into the real life. Then people criticize and say, oh, why do people think pageants are outdated and dumb? Yeah, because of this. Because you have a winner that is all about sustainability, and then you're putting her on a jet with her sustainable clothing on a private jet. Why? Why?
The next thing you know is she's going to ask Arbany to wear her fur coat.
I hope Arbany says no. I know that girl knows how to.
Yeah, that really bothers me because Anne is all about showing off her wealth. I think for me, if you're going to focus on the concept of being a transformational leader, wouldn't a good transformational leader also embody humility and spirituality? I haven't seen any of that in Queen Anne's personality. Not yet, at least. Okay. Also, with this bidding wars thing, the fact that smaller countries are the ones who started withdrawing or disconnecting themselves from Miss Universe, in a way, sort of threatens their future representation in future pageants. We will not be seeing any more candidates from Belize, the Cayman Islands, Seychelles, Mauritius, and all the other smaller countries, because I think to Queen Anne, these countries don't matter anyway. They don't have resources, they don't have the money, they don't have the pageant fan base that the other bigger countries like Philippines, India, Mexico, Venezuela, Puerto Rico have. So what's the point of inviting them back, So I don't know. I think it's just going the other direction, not to the direction that I would like to go to. So I don't know, but it's just my opinion. Reading some of the comments. Oh, people, hello for joining us. Phil is very opinionated tonight.
Well, he should be here.
He's saying the bidding wars expose who pays more to place. It's been a speculation since Anne's bidding wars got viral, and boom, now we know most beautiful girls don't place because of sash. Yeah, that's true. You think?
Also, I don't agree with that statement, Phil, that much. Because every year we see the same girls, but it's the same girls because they come prepared, because they have the most interest in wanting to place.
Right. And also, if you want to acquire a Miss Universe franchise, you don't have to be a citizen of that country that you want to be the director of.
Nope.
It's a very common practice nowadays, for a foreigner to acquire a franchise of a country which is not its own country. It happens all the time. Okay, so it's no big deal. It's really no big deal. It's all about money, and money does not know any nationality, ethnicity, or race. It's just pure green money. Okay. All right. Question from our viewer, Dorothy. Did this last Miss Universe prioritize the transformational leader aspect over beauty, or made a decision to even out both requirements to come up with a winner like Miss USA?
It was a balance.
You think? Yeah.
Of course. I was there firsthand, and it was a balance. Literally, the top three were, at least from what I learned during the Miss Universe competition, were examples of transformational leadership. But where are we leaving that?
So we have Miss Albany, Miss Universe Curacao, and Miss Universe Dominican Republic in Thailand. Or actually, they're now in Malaysia, in conjunction with the official opening of the Miss Universe Malaysia new franchise. Let's talk about Miss Venezuela, the real reason why she did not join the other girls. Any opinion? Any conspiracy theory? Any speculation? What do you think? Let me go first. I think the reason why she didn't go with the three other girls to Asia is because, personally, I think if she had come with them, she would have outshined all the rest. And because the Thai people wanted Venezuela to win, not USA. And when she and Albany had this live Instagram chat 2 weeks ago, didn't Amanda say, "Oh, I can't go because I have other commitments"? I thought she was lying. Lie, girl, you are lying. You didn't want to go because you knew that you were going to outshine Albany in Thailand, right? And that's exactly what's happening. And now, with a stunning Miss Dominican Republic,
that's what I was going to say.
Albany is being eclipsed by these two Caribbean beauties,
You know what it is for me? I don't like actually that the entire top 5 is now suddenly being included in official Miss Universe duties. It doesn't feel very Miss Universe to me. For years, it's been Miss Universe in conjunction with Miss USA and Miss Teen USA to an extent. But now it's like Miss Universe is there, but it's also like her runners up, except for Venezuela. And I just liked it when it used to be Miss Universe going to things on her own and holding her own as Miss Universe. I don't even know, nothing against the other women, because of course they're all stunning, and I actually would have preferred some of them instead of the current winner. But I just think that if you're going to crown someone as Miss Universe, really commit and have her hold her own as Miss Universe wherever you send her.
Okay. All right. That sounds logical. But still, I wonder, what Amanda is feeling at this moment. Maybe she thinks she's missing all this wonderful experience that she could have experienced, had she gone with the girls, or had she gone with the group. I just feel bad. What about Puerto Rico? Why wasn't she invited? Ryan,
why really?
Why was Puerto Rico
invited?
Really?
Why is that even a question? Listen, I will clarify that I have really good relationships with top 5, the whole top 5. I literally was screaming in Miss Universe, like, oh shit, one of my friends is going to be Miss Universe, because all of them are very close. Like, I've literally talked with all of them after Miss Universe. And they're all so special. Obviously, you guys know that I have a very special place for Andreina, because she is a star. Like, I see her and I'm like, wow, she's a star. And she is kind of outshining the other two in everywhere they go. Like, she is a star. When that woman walks into the room, everyone turns their head. Like, it's just like this magnetic energy. Like, I'll be honest with you, I've told her, like, don't go to Thailand, don't go to Indonesia, like, go to Hollywood. This is your moment to go to Hollywood, because she is a star. But yeah.
Well,
why Puerto Rico didn't go? Maybe because of her mom. Maybe. I've never met the lady, but maybe because of the comments, I would assume. Because honestly, like I said, Gabriela also so close to my heart. She's the sweetest, and I was the most excited person when she came into the top 5. But overall in the night, Puerto Rico was the better performer versus Curacao, in my opinion. So she should have been the first one to go. In my opinion, she would have been the third runner-up. But yeah, probably the comments, I would guess.
And also, did you notice that when the first time when Arbany landed in Thailand, there were hardly any Thai fans who greeted her? There were maybe like a dozen or so members of the press.
Just like Miss Grand.
Compared to Miss Grand, there were like the entire city of Bangkok welcomed Miss Grand. And
listen, something that I've seen on TikTok, Rafa, I get random TikToks, right? And sometimes they're beauty pageant related. And I always see people, like little kids, running around doing their little catwalks. And they're always mentioning, not Miss Universe, they're mentioning Miss Grand. And I think that is an opportunity where Miss Universe has not done enough. The new pageant fans are going to be in love and fans of Miss Grand, potentially of Miss Charm, but they're not falling in love with Miss Universe. And Miss Universe should sit down and think about why that is.
Interesting. That's a good point. Well, if I were Arbany, I would really feel, I don't know, I probably would feel a little envious, considering that the attention that's supposed to be all mine only is being taken away by these 2 other bitches who accompany me. I don't like that. You know what I mean? So I don't think it's a good idea. Well, actually, no, 3 bitches, including Queen Anne herself, the biggest.
I mean, Arbany still holds her own. I think that we're just a little too harsh. And yes, the presence is undeniable from Andreina, but I think they all hold their own. They're all very harmonious and beautiful, and they should be worried about Khun being the center spot. That's what they should be worried about.
What I'm trying to say is, isn't it enough that poor Arbany already has to share the spotlight with the new Miss Universe owner? Now the new Miss Universe owner is inviting all sorts of runners up. Next thing you know, the whole freaking top 20 is going to be in Thailand, and I'm just like, let it just be Arbany's moment. She wasn't my preferred winner the whole time, but she did win after all. Now let her just have her moments.
Exactly.
I don't want to see Anne hovering over Arbany in every single photograph of Arbany. Let it just be her. Why should we see everybody? I just want Arbany to have her moment. It doesn't even feel like she's had that, to be honest.
Exactly. And remember, time flies. And now what? She only has 10 more months for her reign.
Less than
10 months, because the next pageant is going to be in El Salvador in, was it December? December, correct?
December, yeah.
December. And by the way, they already announced the host country for 2024, which is going to be in Thailand. And guess what? It's going to be in October, the same month as Miss Grand International. Do you think Queen Anne is doing this on purpose to piss off Nawat? What do you think?
I think it's a bad move.
Well, I don't know. We'll see. So if you were given the chance to go to both pageants in October, and you can only pick one, Brian, where would you go? Be honest.
You know what? It's a conflicting thing, because I was speaking to someone very important the other day, and I was telling them that nostalgia is something that this current generation really loves, and I include myself. Nostalgia is what makes us keep on going, and Miss Universe gives me that. the hope of seeing something that I like a, I don't know, a 2008 production or a 1994 production. Like, it gives me the hope of seeing something like that. But when I sit down and I think about currently how pageants are going, I'm most entertained by Miss Grand. And if I was a girl, I would want to compete in Miss Grand, not Miss Universe. Like, I see the activities that Miss Grand just puts on, and it seems exciting. It seems fun. It seems like I'm actually going to go and enjoy my time instead of going to Miss Universe, being there for 10 days, and not being able to see anybody. Like, literally, when I was at Miss Universe, we couldn't even see the girls. Like, you had no interaction at all, not even through the hotel. And that gives you energy, that gives you life, something that they don't understand, or at least they didn't understand. And then you compare it with Miss Grand and just having so many grand activities. Right. Like, why do I, oh, sorry, the smell. Sorry for saying shit, YouTube. Why would I want to go to Miss Universe where I'm literally gonna wear a beautiful gown to go to a restaurant that anybody could go to? Like, it's nothing special. It's not special.
Yeah.
All my money, all my hard work for nothing.
Rina, same question. Which pageant would you rather attend?
You know what? if it was still the IMG era, I would have said in a heartbeat Miss Universe. Yes. Just because the owner of Miss Grand, he is a bit knowing, and he does, I don't know, he's similar to Anne in a way. He likes the spotlight a lot. Mm-hmm. He shows up way more often than necessary, which is necessary is actually he shouldn't be there at all, taking the spotlight, but he shows up a lot. And I feel like that's what Anne is doing as well. But if I had to exclude the owners and the ways that they annoy me, I have to still say Miss Universe as a fan to watch. Miss Universe, to be honest with you, because I feel like it's more cemented in the world's eyes. I feel like if you talk about Miss Grand International, probably not everyone in the world will know exactly what you're talking about, but I feel like almost everyone knows Miss Universe. So it feels like more of being part of history to be watching Miss Universe, even if it's a bad production or, subpar compared to what Miss Grand is doing. I really commend Miss Grand. And I feel like that's where the power of money and vision really comes in. When it comes to Miss Grand, you can really see that it's a well thought out pageant. Even though it's so new, it's really amazing to watch as a fan. But if I had to choose as a fan, I would still go with Miss Universe because of the historical aspect of Miss Universe.
I think Miss Universe is losing that historical aspect. Right. You could ask any person here in America if they know that Miss Universe was won by the United States, and they would be like, what? Huh? What, Miss America?
Yeah.
They don't know. No one knows. No one cares.
Yeah. Mm-mm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Only
I feel like the US is weird in terms of its pageant system, because I feel like Miss America, correct me if I'm wrong, is bigger and more well known than Miss USA, which is crazy to me as an international pageant fan, because I was like, okay, Miss America, what does she do? Where does she go? Does she go anywhere? I thought actually as a child for the longest time.
It's not anymore though.
Yeah. Miss America. Yeah. Miss America is the oldest national system.
That's why it's most known, but it's not popular anymore. It's just nostalgia, what people knew back then, and that's what has stuck in their mind.
But Miss America has a new CEO. Her name is Robin Fleming, and hopefully she'll bring back all the glitz and the glamour, that made Miss America great, in the past. So anyway, so I think it's very. I would, in a heartbeat, I would go to NGI for sure. Definitely, for the same reasons that Brian cited, because I want to be entertained. And that's the main reason why I watch pageants, is because I want to be entertained. From an entertainment perspective, I would probably give Miss Universe, I don't know, maybe like 5, because I was really not that excited about watching it as compared to Miss Grand. With Miss Grand, I was finding myself like, jumping up and down like a little child, walking to a candy store.
Even Miss Charm, Rafa. Even Miss Charm on his first year.
Let's talk about Miss Charm. Moving on to Miss Charm. I just saw Rina's review of Miss Charm, and I think I agree. I agree with most of what you said. I'm going to do my review pretty soon too. But yeah, let's talk about Miss Charm. This is the first edition of the Miss Charm pageant. Actually, wait a minute, no. Based on my research, Miss Charm actually originated like 30 years ago. It first began, I believe, in 1989, and then it was Miss Turkey that won, and then a second edition took place the following year, but after that, it went dead. And I think the Vietnamese organization sort of like resurrected the name and the pageant. They bring a new life into it. And the result is this amazing, first edition production that took place last night in Ho Chi Minh City. So, okay, let's talk about Miss Charm. What do you think, Brian, of Miss Charm? Is it charming for you?
It was like, let me tell you, they had a lot of people in the pageant community just kind of upset and taking them as a joke after so many cancellations. A lot of people were just like, oh, this is just going to be like another silly pageant. And it delivered. It delivered beyond expectations. The girls, again, my focus is all around always. And I can see that the girls actually enjoyed themselves. They did things, not like other pageants. And I just think that production-wise, they did a really good job. There was an instance where the fans were not happy with something that happened in the pageant, and they were respectful enough to come out and apologize and acknowledge that it wasn't up to par. And I think it's admirable. And all I can say is I think it's very promising. And I know for a fact that a lot of national organizations are eyeing their way that towards Miss Charm. And I don't blame them. I would too.
Mm-hmm. Well, compared to Miss Universe, as far as activities goes, obviously Miss Charm killed it with activities. The girls were there for about what, 3 weeks, I think.
3 weeks, I think.
Almost 3 weeks, yeah. And they had tons of activities to do. Now, when they did the preliminary competition, oh no, was it a preliminary?
The swimsuit competition.
The swimsuit, it was really bad. Okay, that was amateur-ish. The camera work was horrible. A lot of grainy images, and fans were complaining about it. But they were nice enough to apologize, and they offered some sort of compensation to some of the fans who felt that they were shortened by the production. But anyway, they were able to redeem themselves with a nice, decent production last night. Apart from several glitches, especially and let's not talk about the translator, okay, the interpreter.
Oh, God.
Horrible job, and have an entire 20-minute segment on my vlog about this interpreter. So can't wait. Now, the judges, let's talk about the judges of Miss Charm. So you have a former Miss Universe, a former Miss International, and a former Miss World, a former Miss World Vietnam, the owner herself, and some woman named Mimi, whatever, Rogers, her name is. All women judges, to me, was like, really? Are they imitating
again
an all-female jury? What's up with that? They couldn't pick up a one good male judge in Vietnam. Okay, I don't understand. So
originally they had Osmel, but because he's in a reality show, I think he obviously wasn't able to make it. So I think it might have just been, accidentally.
Mm-hmm.
But again, why are we excluding men? Men can also be feminists. Us that are right here, we support women so much. We love women. We want them to shine. So it doesn't make us anti anything. So yeah, men should be included. I'm pretty sure, again, I'll repeat it and I'll keep repeating it. I'm pretty sure that the majority of the 38 contestants had 1, 2, 3, 4 gay men behind their participation. So don't exclude us.
I don't think there are any gay. I don't think there are any gay people in Vietnam, do they? Just kidding. Sorry, Rita, go ahead.
I've always said that men should definitely be part of the judging panel when it comes to pageantry, because like the other day I went into my statistics on YouTube and like 75% of my subscribers are men.
Right.
Most of the most knowledgeable people that I know on pageantry are men. I mean, of course, in South Africa we have Wagner Wessels, who is basically a Miss Universe genius at this point. He's obviously a man, unless stated otherwise. And I mean, I don't know what the issue is with including men who are literally the most avid supporters of the pageant industry. They are, to be honest, men are they make up the bulk of
The backbone.
pageant industry. Not in all aspects, not only as fans, as stylists, as walking coaches, etc.
It's the backbone, the backbone of
Cameraman,
pageants.
crew, staff,
Panel
security.
is
Yep.
sultan.
hmm Everything, pretty much. Yeah. So,
You're
Miss Charm organizers, if you're watching the show, hopefully you haven't blocked me yet. Please
Not yet.
consider, please consider putting at least a couple of male judges in your next edition. Okay. And
Here's some
also,
tea, Rafa.
enough of these 3 female co-hosts.
Oh
At
my
least a
god.
man and a woman.
Oh my
Or better yet, just
goodness.
put
Leave
a
Karina
man.
by herself. That would have been better.
Sorry. Male
Jesus.
hosts are the best, okay? A man host is the best.
Comedians are the best. I want to hear jokes. I don't want to see someone just reading from a card or reading from the teleprompter. It's so boring. It's so boring. I want
Use a
to have someone
teleprompter.
with personality.
Rafa, you know who was more entertaining? The commenter that was behind. Remember, we were joking around about that in a chat?
Yeah.
She was actually better than the hosts. I would have much rather seen her and Karina hosting than the other two. They were a little bit.
I know. They were like very
Here's some tea, by the way.
very dry.
Here's some tea, by the way. There was no USA contestant this year, and
What
maybe
happened?
someone you know was gonna send someone.
Someone who
from
what?
Someone you know was gonna send a contestant for USA, but it didn't pan out. Not the girl that I wanted.
What's this person's name? Well, email me.
It was me. It was me. It was me.
Oh, you were gonna send the US girl.
Yeah.
Okay. So what happened? You didn't like they
The girl that I wanted
They
didn't.
didn't
Well, 3 of the girls that I wanted, none of them wanted to do it.
So who are these 3 girls that you picked?
Okay, so you remember the I forgot her name. Second runner-up, volleyball player, Miss USA, very, very tall, skinny.
Okay.
When who won?
Was it Ohio?
When Asia Branch won, I think, or was it Asia Branch or was it before that?
I have an idea, but I forget
Yeah.
the name. Yeah.
And 2 more, but I won't say.
Okay, that's fine. That's
Maybe you'll see them soon.
Well, you do realize
Trying to
that
be tall and skinny in order to try to tell us who this is. They're all tall and skinny. That didn't help to narrow it down.
That didn't, well, I said it was a volleyball player.
A lot of them are actually volleyball players, surprisingly.
okay.
No, but she's very tall, like abnormally tall. You'll remember if you see the pageant, Miss USA 2018 or 2019. I don't know, something like that.
Well, there was no franchise fee. It's free, correct?
Yep,
This year,
and the ticket.
and the airline ticket. And not only that, but I think they're doing the same thing next year. So maybe Rina can send a delegate from
Namibia.
or Namibia.
Yeah.
I knew actually a girl who was fixing to go to Miss Charm back in 2021. She was actually the official delegate for Namibia at Miss Charm, but then they kept canceling. So I guess she just, I don't know, gave up on the dream as well since they kept canceling. But yeah, I definitely think if they're going to make it so that there's no fee and that they, do the flights and everything, I think definitely some of Namibia's girls would be interested in going. I just have to spread the word about that actually in Namibia in order to
Rina, find out, because they were actually actively looking for African contestants.
Yes, there were very few this year.
They were actively looking for them, and I couldn't find any at the time.
Yes, I want to see.
Yeah, I think definitely we could have Chelsea Shikongu, who was Miss Universe Namibia back in 2021. I don't know if you guys remember the one who resembled Zosie a little bit with the hair.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's very tall. Yeah,
Yeah, if she could go, that would actually be good.
but if and only if they like her, because they have to also
They have
pick.
to be approved. Yep.
It has to be approved. So
Yeah,
that's the
no, we'll see. I'm not going to get too involved. I'm just going to spread the word, and then what the girls do with that from that point forward, that's their business. I already have enough work as it is, to be honest.
Regardless, I think that interest for Miss Charm is going to rise a lot for next year. We will probably see the
it'll
contestants
probably
come.
double. The number of
Yeah.
contestants will probably double. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's true. That's true.
very good first edition.
Okay, so what?
No, I definitely agree. I think Miss Charm they did okay with their first production. Of course, Rafa, you would know, you allegedly watched my review. There were some technical things with regards to the music and the sound as a whole, but I think they did pretty good with their first production. It was actually pretty good.
Yeah, it was very decent. I mean, there were some pauses and lapses and several technical glitches, but overall, it was very decent. Not bad for first production. Now, the winner, of course, she wasn't my favorite. I mean, Brazil, I think, was on almost everybody's list. I mean, she wasn't really my favorite. She was in my top 6, but my winner was actually Colombia. And I was like really shocked. It was between Colombia and Dominican Republic, because Dominican Republic was very, very strong. As soon as she saw her on stage, wow, winner. But then again, when she was eliminated from the top 6, I was like, shocked. My jaw dropped. What happened? And then I think she won the Miss Photogenic Award and another special award, I believe. But I was like totally surprised. Another surprise was
Poland.
Well, Poland. I thought she would make it. There were no Europeans that made the top 6, and I thought she was the strongest European, but she failed. But other than that, I'm happy for Brazil. Philippines definitely deserve her placement, and she needs to come back to compete for Miss Universe Philippines, because she was first runner-up last year in Miss Universe Philippines. She's young; she's only 22. Maybe she needs to come back maybe after a few years.
Yes.
Get more life experience. That's okay.
Married first and have a child.
And she will win next year. I bet you. All right. I think unless anybody else has any opinion about reading the viewers' comments. Michael, okay, regarding Miss Universe is getting less glamorous. The dance moves are missing and the upbeat music is missing. The Trump era did the dance moves and upbeat music. Yeah, that's true. There's a comment from Michael Florendo. That is so true. Yeah, I miss the Trump era. Okay. Another interesting topic. I don't know if you guys follow Mr. International. As you know, the best of pageantry is all about female pageants. I purposely excluded male pageants because
just like Miss Universe and Miss Charm.
Not too many. Not a lot of us, pageant fans are really into male pageants. But just a quick note, because Mr. International started in 2006. It was established by Alan Sim, who was from Singapore. He passed away, I believe, 6 months ago. And Alan Sim was actually close friends with Paui Ventura of Mississology, and also Pradinut, who is the CEO of Mr. Global. They had been friends for like almost over 10 years. So when Alan passed away, Pradit took over the Mr. International license. However, another guy, a Filipino named Manuel Del Dio, is also claiming legal ownership on Mr. International. Manuel's claim is that Alan appointed him as the heir of Mr. International. However, according to I don't know, Brian, if you read Paui's
but I was confused.
Yeah. He basically said, how could anyone from the Philippines claim that he is the new owner of Miss International without ever having met Alan in person? Whereas me and my friend Pradeep had known Alan Sim for so many years. He gave us all the passwords to his social media accounts, to his email accounts. So therefore, blah, 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 which I agree. I mean, I sort of like side with Pradeep of Mr. Global because not only he is a businessman, but his productions are very decent, very well done compared to what Manuel did with Mr. International last year. It was pathetic. It was horrible. Hardly anybody watched. The live stream was in poor quality, very low sponsorship, where Pradeep has all the money, has all the sponsors and a huge following. And almost all of the national directors began following Pradeep instead of the Filipino guy, Manuel. So my point is, both parties have to publish proof of their legal claims for everybody, for the whole world to see. Let's be transparent about this. Then people can decide who to follow, okay? That's all I can say about Mr. International. All right, let's start. Let's go with the topic at hand.
The awards.
As you know, I don't know what happened to Hector. I don't think he's ever going to show up. I don't know what happened to Peter. Hopefully he'll be able to.
You need to make it.
I need to make it. I need to make it. Blah, blah, blah. All right.
We all know he's not running. He's flying.
He's flying. Okay. When I sent you the categories, the nominees for this year's Best in Pageantry 2022, let's start with the number 10 one, which is Best Stage Production.
Okay, Julia Morley.
All right, Julia Morley. Okay. So as you know, there were 6 or 7 big pageants that took place in 2022. You have Miss Globe, which took place in Albania, Miss Intercontinental that took place in Egypt, Miss Earth that took place in the Philippines, Miss Supra National that took place in Poland, Grand International in Indonesia, and of course, Miss Universe in New Orleans, USA. Okay, so there was no Miss World. Miss World, oh, by the way, speaking of Miss World, they just announced that this year's edition will take place in United Arab Emirates, but we don't know whether it's going to be in Dubai or Abu Dhabi or on a boat like Universal Woman. Who knows?
Oh God, Universal Woman. You should have talked about Universal Women.
Well, yeah, I have some things to say about Universal Woman too, which I think is a rigged pageant anyway for Venezuela. So anyway, okay, so Miss Universe, Miss Grand, Miss Supranational, Miss Earth, Miss Intercontinental, Miss Globe. Who wants to go first? Brian.
So I think it's best production. You can't deny that Miss Grand and Miss Supra are way superior than all the others. The staging, the cameras, the lighting, the entertainment, the hosts, the scripts, everything. The just overall, those two are the best. If I could only pick one, then of course I would pick the one that entertained me the most, which was Miss Grand.
Okay.
I agree. Actually, Miss Grand is unmatched right now when it comes to their stage production. Miss Universe, actually, I have to mention Miss Universe for their music. So if I was a fully blind person, which I'm actually partially blind, I would have chosen Miss Universe because the music really hit. But I think that Miss Grand International, they can hold their own even in complete silence. Miss Grand International, actually, their staging, their production, everything is always perfect to a T. And even the sportswear, it was laughable because how are you going to work out in all of that that they were wearing for sportswear? But it at least brought glamour. It brought something different.
Entertainment.
And that's actually why I like this brand as well.
Okay. Speaking of MGI, they just purchased the MGI Hall. which
I heard that's amazing.
this year's pageant is going to take place. So I really expect a big, humongous, grandiose pageant this coming October. And I still want to go to Vietnam for this pageant. So I can't wait. Yay! Okay, here's what I think. I totally agree with you guys. I think Miss Grand International has the best stage production. It was very elaborate. It had great musical dance numbers from the opening. The girls really enjoyed themselves as far as dancing is concerned, and the decorations of the stage, everything was big and visually appealing. When I compare that to Miss Supranational, which is my second favorite, Miss Supranational to me is very clean. I like the format of the Miss Supranational stage because I don't know if you notice, it has a ramp in the center, and it has this 3 or 4 different runways, that 2 diagonals and 2 straight. And then you have the panel of judges sitting on the upper right-hand corner of the stage, I think. So I thought that was very unique. It was very clean. And, it was a very clean production. And I love the fact that they paid homage to West Side Story with Mr. Supranational, the male pageant. Well, they're both the same anyway, together, the same company, but the same stage and everything. So that's why I really like.
Organizations definitely have to.
Go ahead.
I have to mention Mr. Supranational. I know we don't give the spotlight to male pageants a lot, but Mr. Supranational to me was actually more entertaining than Miss Supranational. I enjoyed Mr. Supranational a lot. I feel like they had a lot of unique segments. I don't know if you guys
the red thing.
can remember that. The red thing, that was so cool.
Yeah, that's really good.
Yeah,
yes,
so I like Mr. Supranational a lot as well.
Organizations need to take note, honestly. Every single year they commit the same errors. It's always errors in lighting, errors in audio, errors in choosing the music. It's always the same errors, and it's kind of exhausting every year. It's like they don't learn from their mistakes, which is actually a really bad example.
Exactly. Now, if you're talking, let me see. If you're talking about music, Miss Globe was better this year in 2022 than the year before, but I still couldn't get past the Euro disco, the Euro trash music thing that they play in the background. It's like over, and it's like, come on, where are you getting all this music? It just feels so retro Euro disco trash or something. With
somewhere in the YouTube audio library in the copyright free.
Probably
copyright free, yeah.
Probably.
That's what a lot of people don't understand is that now that Rina mentions copyright, for all these music that these organizations use, they have to pay for them. So it just shows again that when you have a good budget and you prioritize the production, you don't do like a lot of these pageants that just kind of have someone make their own track or something. Miss Grand is paying for them to use this Ariana Grande song or this, like they're paying for this, so they care about their production. So again, other organizations take note.
Right. I think of all the pageants, only Miss Grand International, to my knowledge, actually used the music of a pop artist through the
mainstream music.
Mainstream, like Madonna. They played Madonna, like TikTok. Whereas the other ones, they just used either cover music or just some unknown
or live singers,
trashy music. I forgot to comment on Miss Charm's music. What do you think of Miss Charm's music?
Terrible. Although I do really like
it was like bubblegum music, like elevator music.
Terrible. But I did I know you said it was cheesy, but the Miss Charm thing, I liked it. Again, nostalgia. I thought it was fun.
Yeah,
that's going to be in my head.
No, I'm not going to say anything about the music. You know what? They should have known. During this, let's not forget, they had to go through multiple rehearsals. They had to do dress rehearsal, and nobody thought to say.
They never notice. They don't notice, Rina. They don't. None of the productions. They see it a 1,000 times, and no one notices. Like, yeah, this is probably not the best song for Swimsuit. This is probably not the best song for the opening. No energy. Like, come on. Every year.
Exactly. Now, a little comment on Miss Intercontinental. It was the only pageant that was held outdoors in open air in Egypt. I thought the stage was big. It was all square, very spacious, but it gave me this retro feeling because of the arches in the background. Like there were like several arches and stuff in the back. And plus the sound quality wasn't that great because you could hear people like yelling in the public, booing, whatever, etc. So to me, it was a no. Miss Earth was held at the Okada Manila, which is like a resort. It's indoors, but it has this big, it's an atrium, so it had all this natural lighting, which is great. I thought, it suited the Miss Earth team of sustainability and all, but it was kind of like it lacked something.
Meh.
But so to me, Miss Grand,
I think it's vibrancy. It lacks vibrancy.
It lacked vibrancy. Yes, exactly. Even though they covered the pool, and that's where most of the audience sat, it still needed some oomph. So we all agree that Miss Grand International had the best stage production. And if Peter were here, he would probably say yes as well. Even if he said no, he'd be outvoted anyway. So next category, the best quality of pageant contestants. Which pageant has the best quality of pageant contestants? Who wants to go first?
Well, this is actually something that you have to think about, but it's definitely, I have to sort of lean towards.
I'm sorry. The nominees are Miss Universe, Miss Grand, Supra, International, and Earth.
Yeah, it's a difficult question actually for me, to be honest with you. Maybe Brian can give some insight first.
I mean, I think in general, all the pageants had pretty good level of contestants. I think that's why it's a little harder to decipher. Again, Miss Universe is Miss Universe, so I would probably say Miss Universe. The quality of contestants, it was really one of the toughest years. A lot of great personalities, a lot of beautiful faces. I would also say International had a lot of good girls as well. A lot of beauty. So it just depends on what you're looking for. But in general, I think Miss Universe has better quality overall contestants.
You know what? I agree. Miss Universe, I had Miss Universe #1. When you look at the, 2022 has been the most competitive year, I think, so far for Miss Universe, because I think there could have been like at least 30 girls that could have made the top 20. So it's very, very tough, at least for me, to pick the top 16, because I actually had the top 35 on my list. So, but nevertheless, it was Miss Universe for me has the best quality, followed by MGI. When I look at the top 5 or even the top 10 of MGI,
really great girls.
A lot of great girls, a lot of stunning personalities. So Grand is my #2, followed by Supra for 3. And then the rest.
I definitely agree that Miss Universe is a huge bloodbath. Even for me, I struggled and I went over my finals list multiple times. So I definitely say, yeah, for the pure volume of quality contestant, Miss Universe. But then again, there are specific women who stood out in each and every major international pageant this year who I thought, wow, you could actually be at Miss Universe as well. Especially at smaller pageants or pageants that, we have been anticipating, like Miss International this year. These girls have been waiting a long time to compete. Some were just amazing, and it varied from pageant to pageant. At some pageants, there were, for me, only like 2 really, really, really amazing women. But then at Miss Universe, it was half impossible even just to come up with a finals list. So yeah, definitely Miss Universe for the sheer volume of quality contestants that we got.
Okay.
Yeah, I remember being in my hotel room in New Orleans, making my final prediction, and just sitting down on the little desk and being like, damn, I don't know who's my winner. And I just had this gut feeling, and I was doubting myself, and I was just like, you know what? No, it's her. It has to be her. And I'm glad it came out how I thought, but it was very hard. Like I kept going back and forth and being like, but this girl's so beautiful, but then this girl's so sweet. And it just makes it more difficult being there in person. And it's inevitable to like create some type of connection with the girls when you're there in person. So sometimes, side note, being like away and being at home is better for your predictions than being there in person, because sometimes that connection that you get it's very, very hard to like, even for the most unbiased person, to set it apart and be objective.
Okay. All right. Next category is the best in swimsuit. So we have 6 nominees. We have, first one is Arbany Gabriel, Miss Universe USA, followed by Amanda Dudamel, Miss Universe Venezuela, followed by Isabella Menin, Miss Grand Brazil, and then Luisette Materan, Miss Grand Venezuela, Lalela Maswane, Miss Supranational South Africa, and Andreina Martinez, Miss Universe Dominican Republic. Do you remember what they looked like in their swimsuit?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Very good nominees.
All right, good nominees, unless you have other names that you want to add.
Dominican Republic from Miss Charm.
Okay, yeah, but Miss Charm is 2023.
All right. Yeah.
Not 2022.
I'd say Ashley Cariño.
In my mind on replay right now. Dominican Republic at Miss Charm. She was so amazing.
I'd say Miss Puerto Rico from Miss Universe. Why do I keep doing that? Ashley Cariño. She was very solid in swimsuit. Maybe I'm being a little biased, but when I look at these nominees, I think I would have to like evaluate everything from walk, attitude, body, overall energy in prelims and in the finals. And I think the winner, honestly, is either Arbany Gabriel or this one's hard. This one just got hard. Probably Arbany Gabriel. She was the best in prelims and the final night. That's the honest truth.
Okay. Rina, do you agree?
I don't think she agrees.
Purely by memory, if I have to go purely by memory, I would have to lean between Andreina from Miss Universe and Isabella from Brazil for Miss Grand, actually. Those two were my favorites when it came to swim, I think, out of your list of candidates.
Okay. But who's your top?
In that case, you know, I think that looking back, I think Isabella from Brazil was probably my favorite.
Okay. Sorry, Brian, but I agree with Rina. I think Isabella Menin nailed the whole thing, even from the preliminary swimwear competition when they were all walking on the beach in Bali. I thought she was classy, she was amazing, and she had the best poses, the best bitch face. Everything about her was perfection. So and she's followed closely by Arbany. I mean, I love Arbany, I think, but she lacked something. I don't know what exactly, what to say, but anyway, for me, the winner is Isabella. So if Peter were here, who do you think he'd pick?
Probably Arbany.
Probably Arbany.
Probably Arbany.
Probably Arbany as well. So reading our viewers' comments, someone say agree with Ashley Cariño. Noemi. Let's see, Dorothy. Okay, no, we're not talking about Miss International Queen. Okay, wrong pageant. Wrong pageant.
Wrong pageant.
Phil says
maybe next year.
Phil says Miss Grand Brazil, followed by Miss Universe Dominican Republic. Yes. How do you think Ashley Cariño would have fared in Israel if she was Miss USA? Good question, Brian.
She probably would have went farther.
You think?
Yeah, Ashley
Farther than Michelle?
Ashley has competed in the hardest pageants. Like, she knows how to compete. A little insight: when I interviewed her in Miss Universe, we were done. She looks at me and she's like, "So, what do you think's gonna win?" Very casual. And I'm like, "I don't know. You tell me. You've competed in the most hardest pageants around: Miss Universe, Miss USA, Miss Florida, super hard pageants, and you've won them. So you tell me." And she was like, "I don't really know. I don't know. I don't get the vibe of who's gonna win." That was very interesting. She didn't have a vibe yet.
Interesting. So is she? Do you think she's done with pageants, Ashley? I
Yeah,
think she is, right? She's done. Yeah.
yeah. She needs to focus on her
being astronaut.
space.
Yes. She needs to go to the universe. Exactly.
Yes.
Woo-hoo.
It's very amazing. She's a very talented woman. So again, a great batch in Miss Universe.
Good. Moving on. Next category is Best in Evening Gown. Nominees are Arbany Gabriel, Amanda Dudamel, Isabella Menin, Lalela Maswane, Andreina Martinez, Jasmine Selberg, who is the new Miss International from Germany, and Mina Choi, the new Miss.
I want to go first.
Who wants to go first?
I want to go first.
Go, Brian. Go.
Arbany, hands down. But then Lalela, the way that she carried it, the color was so different. She looked like a star. And it's weird that I just noticed that both of them were wearing purple. So maybe I just like purple. But they were just, both of them were just fire, just perfection.
I think I have photos of these girls wearing their gowns. Let me just see if I can share them. Can you see?
Yes.
Yeah, we can see now.
Okay, so this is Arbany's gown. Okay.
Stunning.
It's very unique, very intricate, the details, but I'm not exactly sure if I'm liking this muslin cover, what do you call it? But it's very unique.
It's different. Winning in a black gown is very hard.
It's very hard. So this is Amanda's gown, which
I don't like that one.
Was designed by some Lebanese designer. I actually like the colors, the blending of the colors. And she looks so ravishing in that dress. This is Brazil. As you know, this gown was
so talented.
This gown was inspired by the gown that was worn by Miss Universe from Brazil, 1968, Martha Vasconcelos. And I thought the designer slayed it.
It kills it every single time. He's amazing.
Amaze balls. This is South Africa's gown. It's simple, basic, but very
I was basing myself off the prelims gowns then.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. See, I forgot about these gowns. That's a bad thing.
Dominican Republic Universe. I'm not sure. Actually, I prefer her preliminary gown to this one. For some reason, this is kind of like, I don't know, it's just whitewashed. It's just bland. But I like
it didn't look like this in person. I think it's just the picture.
Yeah, I like the design though. This is Germany's gown.
Meh, yawn.
This is Korea's gown.
Don't like it at all.
Okay. And that's it.
I guess Isabella's then, if we're judging based off the final gown, Isabella and Arbany. But if we're judging by prelims, then Arbany and Lalela.
Okay.
I disagree. Okay, no, I agree with Arbany. She's number one. I don't like black gowns, but that was the black gown to end all black gowns. And it wasn't even black, like it has some purple, blue, whatever. It was so good that you know what I base my favorite gowns on usually is the feeling I get the moment I see the woman come out in the gown, and the feelings I got with Arbany in that gown. She was just amazing. Then second, I know you said Lalela for her prelims gown, but I actually liked Lalela's final gown for Supranational as well. I thought that she looked very angelic. She looked, soft and feminine, and I liked Lalela's gown for that as well. The rest, Amanda's gown, Venezuela from Miss Universe, it's quite nice as well, but it didn't give me the feeling that Arbany's gown did. The rest, honestly, I cannot remember what they wore. So I'm actually glad that you showed me the pictures.
Yeah.
Okay.
What about
Okay.
you, Rafa? What do you think?
I like, what did I pick? I actually like Miss Grand Brazil gown,
Right?
Isabella, because I thought it was very dramatic. And if you're talking about like a good, what is that word from Project Runaway? If you're going to turn an old design into a new design, I thought her gown was stunning, was
Good.
perfection.
And it went well with the crown.
It went well
Again,
with the crown,
also
with her body.
Yeah, it was very good.
Yeah, Arbany's gown was very unique in a way. It was very very meticulous. It has all the meticulous details, but some of the details were actually very distracting. And also, you know, it was just, I don't know, it was just too weird. It's something that I probably wouldn't wear if I were a girl. But my next one is Lalela. I like Lalela's gown. It's very simple, very classic, very elegant, very simple. And it just really, and she was actually wearing the dress and not the other way around, like compared to Venezuela.
Or Korea's gown is ugly and she's like not wearing it well.
I know Korea has a beautiful face. Their gown was like, that's the wrong color for you, girl. Sorry.
Yeah.
You know. What do we see? Okay, what do we think our viewers are saying? Okay, Noemi likes Arbany's gown. Phil
But
said,
that prelims gown was everything.
yeah, of course.
Everything.
Philip says Arbany's gown is kind of punk rockish, unique. Yeah, that's true. Very, because of all the spikes and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. All right. So we like Isabella Menin, right?
Yes. Unless it's prelims, then Arbany. Hands down.
Okay. So if Peter were here, he'd probably say the same thing.
He'd probably say Korea. Just to go against us.
Or probably Miss. No, it probably chose other. No, Miss Globe. Miss Globe. All right. Next category is Best National Costume. Nominees are Miss Grand Peru, Miss Grand Thailand, Miss Grand United Kingdom, Miss Grand Vietnam, Miss Universe USA, and Miss Universe Vietnam. I think I have photos to show.
Yes, please.
Miss Universe USA. I don't even have to think about it. Miss Universe USA by far. My boyfriend stepped into the room the moment that the USA came out, and we've never laughed so hard together in our entire relationship. He was on the floor laughing. Miss Universe USA like made the whole experience of sitting there watching these national costumes coming and going with it, because it was so funny. It was so funny. I don't care. I want to see more funny costumes, actually.
All right. So here we are, nominees. Let's start with Miss USA. What do we think of Miss USA's costume? She's carrying the moon.
It's crazy.
It's
huge.
Yeah, she is representing the American aerospace industry with the moon on her shoulder. Looks very, very heavy, and which even make her walk awkward because it was so heavy.
It's the walk. I wish you had a video to show everybody the walk.
Like,
I think everybody has seen the walk. It's like, That's like going to the bathroom or something.
I mean, but it's giving space, you know, that walk is kind of giving space. Like, I'm on the moon.
It's giving space.
It's giving space.
Phil says she raised the flag with her hand and shoots stars with her arse. Phil,
I think it's amazing.
This is Miss Universe Vietnam.
I actually want to mention someone that you didn't put, Rafa. Guatemala Universe.
Yes. Okay.
I thought that was very, very beautiful and very intricate.
Very intricate.
Kind of, it was wow. It was wow.
It was also the biggest costume, I think. The biggest and the heaviest costume.
Yeah.
Vietnam's gown is a what? She's representing, I believe, the bamboo industry, which is very big in our country. And these are all bamboo mats, which are very popular in our country and most of Southeast Asia.
It's beautiful.
I like how clean cut Vietnam's costume is. It looks very clean.
This is Miss Grand Thailand. And I think, I forget what she's representing. I think she's representing a dragon of some sort. Yeah, some Thai dragon, which I thought was very fun and cool. This is Miss Grand United Kingdom. She actually was inside this a prop right here, which represented the Royal Albert Hall, which is a famous British theater where a lot of pageants and music concerts were held. And she was inside, and when she opened it, she comes out as a ballerina and dancing. I thought her execution was amazing. And then we have Miss Grand Peru. She's representing, I think, a mythical Peruvian bird or something. I thought, and everything is in gold. And I thought the whole costume was spectacular. It was very, very grand. And then we have Miss Grand Vietnam. She's wearing some traditional Vietnamese costume, with a Vietnamese hat, and I don't know exactly what she's wearing in the back, but I thought it was very colorful. So yeah, those are the nominees for Best National Costume. Looking at the viewers, do we have other potential here? Miss Universe Ukraine. Oh yeah.
Oh yes, you forgot that one. Yeah.
Yeah.
That one. I think that Ukraine actually has started stepping into what national costumes need to start changing to things moving, things being.
Yes.
I'm tired of the props. I don't really like United Kingdoms because it's just a prop. Like if you take the prop away, she's just a ballerina, and we've seen that before. So not the biggest fan of that one, but I would definitely, yes, I would definitely not nominate Ukraine and Guatemala Universe. They really had amazing national costumes.
Okay, what about you, Rina?
Yeah, for me, I think that I agree with what Brian said about Ukraine, especially because the wings were mechanical. For me, that was very impressive, actually. I love that a lot more girls are, combining tech with national costume. I think it's very inventive that way. But I also agree with Brian, and I've said this so many times. I hate it when girls bring entire sets with them in order to make their costume stand out. If you can't wear it, and if you can't physically carry it, then I don't think it should be part of your national costume, and it shouldn't count as such. This thing about bringing entire sets, I can't remember what year it was. Was it 2020 when Indonesia built that entire building?
Oh, Indonesia.
Thailand
or Indonesia.
Stop doing that. It's so annoying, and it takes up time. No, I can't with the set thing. But yeah, for me, I think entertainment value, US definitely. But I also, like I said, Ukraine definitely for the wings being mechanical and also beautifully made. Other than that, I liked Vietnam at Universe for the fact that their costume was so clean cut and well made and very much representative of the culture.
Okay. I actually liked Miss Grand United Kingdom only because when you're talking about being a wearable costume, I think she was able to wear both the prop and also maybe because of the wheels underneath that it was easier to glide, to move. It's the same thing with the Universe Guatemala's costume. She was carrying this big humongous prop, but the only reason why she was able to pull it to the stage is because of the wheels underneath, right? So yeah, but other than that, I think I like United Kingdom only because it paid homage to Queen Elizabeth II, and also to the British arts and culture and to ballet. So she represented three different things all in one costume. I thought that was very versatile. So
which international pageant was it again? There was another one where a contestant from the United Kingdom, or I think they were representing England, they literally came dressed up as the budget version of Queen Elizabeth for national costume. I remember, Rafa, I'm sure you were talking about it. Which pageant was that again?
She was wearing a Queen Elizabeth costume. Wasn't that Miss Universe Great Britain? She wore a green, ugly, most horrible, ugly ball gown.
Right,
with a long train. That was Miss Universe Great GB. Yeah, it was a long, long train. And she looked like when she turned sideways, she looked like she was going to the bathroom or something. This isn't a very good look. It was
Oh
poorly
my
executed. I feel bad for the girl because she's beautiful, but that dress, the costume was ugly.
No, that was terrible. No, yeah,
Terrible,
no,
terrible. So anyway, so Brian would go with either Ukraine or Guatemala, and Rina, you would go with Ukraine or Universe Vietnam.
USA.
No, honestly, I would just go with Ukraine, actually.
Ukraine,
because-
with Ukraine. Okay, so
Yeah, I
both
think
of you
it's
go with
better.
Ukraine, even though okay, so let me add Ukraine. And okay, so I'm outvoted. So in this case, Ukraine wins. Woo-hoo-hoo-hoo. Good for you, Ukraine.
Good job, Victoria.
Good job, Victoria. Please stop asking more money from the Americans, okay? Because it's really not our war. We don't care about the war.
And there's always politics. Anyways.
Anyways, moving on. Next category is the best in interview or Q&A. The nominees are Arbany Gabriel, Amanda Dudamel, Lalela Maswane, Isabella Menin, Mina Choi, Miss Earth, and Andreina Martinez. Or if you wish to nominate others, that's fine. Very difficult. This is a very difficult and challenging category because all the top 5 speakers in all the pageants are great, eloquent, articulate speakers. And that's why they won, because they're great spokespeople.
Yeah. Brian, I don't know.
When you look back at Miss Grand International during the top 10 Stop the War and Violence speech, who stood out during the final Q&A?
For me, in the Stop the War and Violence thing was
Puerto
definitely
Rico.
Brazil.
Puerto Rico when she spoke Russian straight to Putin. That was
amazing.
a serve. That was a serve.
Yes.
But no, I had the honor to actually interview some of these girls in long format interviews. And again, Arbany just has so much content and she knows what she wants to say. And she's not the type of person that will let me think. Like she will go, you'll ask her, what's your favorite color? She'll be like, bam, bam, bam. I like it because of this. Like she doesn't have to think about it. Andreina, again, she's very laid back. She's very real. It's very easy for her to talk and she'll be very real with you. She doesn't sugarcoat it. Who else? Who was the other one? I'm sorry. From Universe?
Amanda
too. Amanda, she's the only one out of the group that I would say she's very more pageant and she wants to say everything perfect, but again, it's very enjoyable and she connects with you. She's Latina, so she's very touchy and very expressive, and it's very interesting and fun to talk to her. Lalela just goes to your heart. Like she's just the accent. I mean, how can you not?
Fiction.
And Grand Brazil, Isabella is again charming and very interesting to watch. But if I had to pick one based off what I have experienced with them, I think I would have to say Arbany. I just really enjoyed her, and she really. I think that day when I interviewed her was the day when I was like, "Damn, she can win this," and she won it.
Keep rubbing it in.
I think
USA.
the thing for me is I like girls who have this natural speaking style about them. That's just what I naturally lean towards. Coming from South Africa, I think you can all attest that South African women, when they speak at international pageants, they all have this sort of natural style to them. They rarely project their voices or try to address the entire room. More often than not, they will sort of sound like they're addressing one specific person, and that's just for cultural reasons what I lean towards. And for that reason, I think I really very much liked Isabella Menin from Grand for that reason, because during her Stop the War speech, she very much touched my heart. So I think it's probably Isabella for me, actually, to be honest.
Okay.
I agree with what Rina says about Lalela and South African representatives in general. They're very natural, and it's kind of like a breath of fresh air when you hear them talk. So I could definitely see Lalela maybe being second, in my opinion.
Yeah, you know what? I totally agree. I think for me, it's between Lalela and Albany, but at this point, I think I'm leaning more towards Albany only because, for the same reasons that Brian mentioned, because to me, she sounded very genuine and very sincere, and she's always very composed when she speaks. She doesn't feel nervous or she doesn't feel stressed out. She's very.
It doesn't matter what you ask her.
Yeah, she always has a good answer. It comes out of her mouth.
I asked her about the controversies in Miss USA, and she was just like, you know what, this, and I'm here to prove that I rightfully won it. And it was just very convincing. It was just like, yeah, she knows what she's doing.
Right, exactly.
Yeah, I definitely agree with you guys in terms of Arbany's professionalism. She definitely does know how to conduct an interview or how to answer questions on the spot. That's something that I really do respect about Arbany as well. She comes across as being very professional, and for that reason, it's not difficult to see how she won Miss Universe.
Mm-hmm. And I actually would like to see more of her speak, do more of this, lectures, workshops, seminars on being a transfer.
For now, we'll see Anne.
You think? Yeah, for the next 6 months.
For now, we'll see Anne talk.
And
I think Arbany could actually mentor Anne as far as choosing the correct words to use, or teaching Anne more practical American expressions.
Are you ready?
You know what I mean? Yeah, exactly. Hey girl, all that stuff. You know what I mean? I think she would make a wonderful language English instructor.
Maybe that's why she picked her.
You think? All right, so our winner for the best interview and Q&A is Arbany Gabriel, our Miss Universe. Woohoo! Next category is, there are 4 more categories left. Next one is Best Host Country. The nominees are Egypt for Miss Intercontinental, Albania for Miss Globe, Poland for Miss Supra, Japan for Miss International, Philippines for Miss Earth, Indonesia for Miss Grand, and New Orleans, USA for Miss Universe.
New Orleans is not the option.
New Orleans. Is this even debatable or what?
It's not debatable.
It's not debatable. I'll go first. Indonesia. Indonesia by far was the best host country ever from 2022. Unless anybody from our audience would like to argue with me. So far, nobody.
I don't think there's a lot of arguing you could do.
Rina, do you agree?
No, it's impossible to choose from them, because I love how we get to see different cultures with different host countries and things. But
when I say host country, the country that has the least number of crimes.
Oh my God. Not New Orleans, then. Not New Orleans, murder capital.
If I had to end up choosing, it would definitely be between, the US, New Orleans, and Indonesia. But I think purely for, you know what, I'm just going to go and say New Orleans, because I actually loved how the specific place ended up influencing the production of the show in terms of music and other cultural aspects. We also got to see some behind the scenes things from all of the girls. So yeah, I actually leaning towards what Brian said and going with New Orleans.
Oh, I was joking, Rina.
Yeah,
I was joking, Rina.
He was pulling your leg.
Joking, though. But listen, okay, you might have been joking. Sorry, got lost in translation. Got lost in translation or whatever. But I'm not joking, and here's why. I liked how the place, New Orleans, ended up influencing the final show in a major way when it came to music and production, and also seeing what the girls were posting behind the scenes in terms of food and things. I live on an entirely different continent. So for me to be able to see all of that, I know that it's probably not anything new for you, Brian, or Rafa, who's been living in the US forever, whatever. I just think that what the girls were posting while being in New Orleans and what they were using to incorporate into the final show in terms of culture of New Orleans. That was really educational for me, and it actually made me want to go to New Orleans, which I think one of the main purposes of a host country hosting Miss Universe is make people want to come here. So I think that I might be, this might be unpopular, but I actually think that New Orleans did a good job at hosting Miss Universe.
Okay. Well, being a host country also means which host country also provided the most number of pageant activities. So when you compare,
it's hard to compare it because it depends on who is in charge of the activities in the pageant. So example, in Indonesia it was Ivan, so Ivan obviously looked for things to do in each. It just depends what you know about the country and what you can find, what can you do. There was way more they could have done in New Orleans. There's probably way more they could have done in I don't know, in Poland, but it just depends on what they want to find and what the time they have. So I agree with what Rina said, but Miss Grand also did that. What was that show they did in the traditional dresses, Rina? Do you remember?
They did that.
Miss Grand.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought that was a story about Indonesia and how it was very historical and very informative, like Rina said. So but I can also see what Rina says. The final show did have a lot of culture from New Orleans. Could it have been more? Yeah.
Yeah, well, they were only there for 9 days. And the reason that's why they had to cram everything in 3 hours on stage in New Orleans. Whereas with Indonesia, everything was spread out during the 3 weeks that they were there, a month that they were there. So you saw a lot of Indonesian culture and whatnot, and the girls really enjoyed it. They really enjoyed
it. And unfortunately, the reality is that in Miss USA, in Miss Universe, the girls didn't get to do all those things. It was maybe 3 girls or a group of 5 girls or maybe 10 girls. But in Grand, all the girls got to experience those activities. So that's one thing to also look at, I would think.
Phil mentioned Miss Universe should not be even on the list because of their restrictions. Well, yeah, they had restrictions. They had, COVID restrictions. And that's the reason why I didn't go, because they only, if you can't provide them with, a passport proving that you're vaccinated, you're not.
Rafa, that was all show. I didn't get a vaccination check.
So that's why, I decided not to go because of that. It's a type of protest for me. So the Bali Agung show, Tinoy says.
Yes,
the Bali Agung show. Yeah,
that was amazing.
It was an amazing show in this Grand. Somebody says, I went to NOLA, to New Orleans for Miss Universe, and I was followed and harassed by a drunk, homeless person back to my hotel. Oh my God. I hope you're okay. Jesus. I'm glad
it was crazy. I know of someone that got robbed in Bourbon Street that was there from Miss Universe.
You got robbed?
Not me, someone I know.
Someone, okay. All right.
Yeah. Luckily I was I'm surrounded by a lot of people. So in groups of number, in groups, you're kind of safer. So
always, never leave your group. And never leave the French Quarter. As soon as you go out of the French Quarter in New Orleans, you're on your own. You're on your own. So be really very careful. All right. So we all agree that the best host country is Rina thinks USA. Brian and I think Indonesia.
I think USA, but close second, probably Indonesia.
All right. So in this case, we'll choose Indonesia. And if Peter were here, he'd probably choose Albania.
Just to go against us.
For Miss Globe. He'd probably choose Miss Globe from Albania. All right, moving on. Best hosts nominees are Olivia Culpo and Ginny Mai for Miss Universe, Matthew Dean for Miss Grand International, Anita Ninika Jones and Martin Fitch for Miss Supranational, and James Deacon for Miss Earth. Who do you think is the best host? Okay, I'll start. My favorite is actually Matthew Dean, bar none. Miss Grand International. He won last year and he's winning again this year. Okay. No argument. Plus, it's cute. I just go for the looks. Rina, go
Yeah,
girl.
for me, I don't know. Everybody is sort of robotic nowadays. I want some hosts with some personality of their own to make some jokes of their own. I want the host also to be entertaining. But yeah, if I had to choose, I would have to lean towards a male host. Not that I'm not, in favor of women hosting, but it's just men tend to,
You need a male energy. I think male energy is better.
Good balance.
not try to do everything so by the book as some female hosts do. If you're going to have a female host, she should at least, have a lot of personality, a big personality. I don't know if you guys follow Miss South Africa, but Miss South Africa usually if they have a female host, she usually has a big personality. They usually invite a comedian or some radio host, and that works. But I don't think Olivia Culpo has the personality necessarily to be able to host Miss Universe.
She did better.
She did better though. Don't you think she did better this year than last time in
She
2020?
did better, but was it the most outstanding hosting job ever?
No.
Not necessarily.
No.
I think actually
groundbreaking.
Catriona Gray and Suri Hall had a good chemistry actually.
Mhm. That's true. And I don't think Olivia could have done it better by herself. I think she needed a partner. So in this case, Jeannie Mai. I mean, they had a good chemistry as well together. I mean, personality-wise, there was no clash between the two of them. And I think Olivia definitely much, and she looks beautiful too, But would I invite her to host again next time? I don't think so. No. So
I'm pretty sure that was just the Miss Universe organization being like, hey, baby, it's probably going to be the last time that we can get you to host. So here you go. We love you.
Phil says, Khun. Hello, universe.
Yo, tell me something. Please screen record this, y'all. El Salvador opens up. President presents Miss Universe, comes out Kunan and just says that line.
Hello, universe.
It's gonna happen. It's gonna happen.
No, it cannot not happen. We need to hear "Hello, the universe" from now until. In fact, Khun should host since she wants the spotlight.
Brian, say it in Spanish.
Remember? Oh God, the translation. Remember when Donald Trump would say, "It's gonna be amazing." That's gonna be her line in this era.
Yes. Yellow is the color of joy. Oh my God, that's hilarious. All right, so you didn't pick anybody, Rina?
No, I think I'm going to lean towards what you said. The male host from
MGI.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
What about you, Brian? MGI too?
Yeah, I think him as well. He's entertaining to watch. He has a good voice, and it's a difference from the girls, and then him, which I enjoy. A differentiates. I said that wrong. So I think it would be him. Is there things that they could get better on? Yes, I think timing. Probably timing. The timing that they say things could be way better.
Mm-hmm. And I like
they
that
need to know when they need to pause.
Yeah, and I like that he wasn't really relying on cue cards. He was really looking at the teleprompter, or sometimes he would improvise. So which is great. That's what makes a great host great. You improvise and stuff. Yep. So for the second straight year in a row, Matthew Dean of Miss Grand International wins the best host. Next category, best title holder, based on beauty, performance, speaking skills, personality, and all the wonderful things. The nominees are Miss Universe, Albany Gabriel, Miss Grand International, Isabella Menin, Miss International, Jasmine Selberg, Miss Supranational, Lalela Maswane, Miss Earth, Mina Choi, Miss Intercontinental, whose name I cannot pronounce, and Miss Globe, Annabelle Payano. Who wants to start? This is very, very, very difficult.
Hands down, this is Isabella Menin's. I mean, impact, beauty, in
Performance.
terms of performance, in
Personality.
terms of personality, in terms of the pageant community wanting to see that person win.
Hostess.
Everyone was happy. Everyone is happy with her being Miss Grand International.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And I haven't seen any bad photo of Isabella.
No,
I mean,
that
everything.
woman is perfection.
She's perfection. I mean, like, come on, girl. I mean, come on. Do you have any like bad moments, any bad looks, bad photos on your iPhone? Please show them to us. So, no, everything about her is perfection. So, okay, I would agree with Brian. I think Isabella Menin is the best title holder for the reasons given above. Stunning performance, beauty, speaking skills. She's very approachable. She's very friendly. She could also be very funny as well. So, and everybody loves
She's
her.
humble as well. As she
Yeah.
looks like a diva, but she's very humble.
I don't know anybody who doesn't like her. All right, fans, we all agree, right? That Isabella is the best title holder. Queen, yes. NGI, Noemi says queen. Yep. Rina, darling, agree?
I believe that Isabella is great, and I think that I was super happy with her winning. But I also have to be patriotic. But this is just for my own. This is just from my own personal knowledge of the woman I'm about to mention, and say Lalela from South Africa, because I think that Lalela has been a great title holder, not only for South Africa, but she's also, proven herself at Miss Universe, and then now she's Miss Supranational. So for me, it's very much between Isabella and Lalela.
All right, that's fair. So, but if Peter were here, he would probably choose Miss Intercontinental, whose name I cannot pronounce because it's in Vietnamese. All right, so just to give us a hard time. All right, so Brian and I vote for Isabella, and Rina votes for Lalela. Rina loses, so sorry. So Isabella Menin, Miss Grand International from Brazil, is the winner in this category, and I'm sure Enrique Fontes, her national director, would be very, very proud. And speaking of our dear friend Enrique, of course, his girl from Brazil, he is the director of Miss Charm Brazil. We congratulate Enrique for Brazil's winning Miss Charm. So, and by the way, Miss World is coming up in May. Who knows?
That's a good girl too.
Brazil is also Enrique's girl, and Brazil could win Miss World in May. We'll see. All right, and the last category is the best pageant of 2022. Nominees are Miss Globe, Miss Intercontinental, Miss Earth, Miss Planet International. Oh, sorry, no.
Woman of the universe.
Sorry. That's our
Universal woman.
That's the category for the worst pageants. Miss Supranational, Miss International, Miss Grand, and Miss Universe.
I feel like we've already answered this question. I think when we were talking earlier about production, I keep with the same answer and say Miss Grand for me was the best pageant of 2022.
Okay. So Rina says Miss Grand. Brian?
I agree. I always like I said before, I always like to look at every side of everything, and I think the most complete pageant has been Miss Grand, and it really has made the pageant community really excited to see it. And the girls look excited. The girls look like they're getting their money's worth, their hard work in. So yeah, Miss Grand.
Okay.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. Miss Grand for me, because they had the fashion down, even though, it's impractical for the category it was in. They had fashion, styling, it was entertaining. The stage was amazing. Everything was on time and in good order. Behind the scenes, the girls had loads of fun. So for me, overall, the pageant that together, like Brian said, was the most complete for me also was Miss Grand, definitely.
Okay. I concur with both of you. I think Miss Grand International is the best pageant of 22 as far as production goes, quality of contestants, number of activities, host country, the host himself, etc. So everything, all the best in 2022 can be found overall in one pageant, and that's Miss Grand International. And of course, if Peter were here, he would probably say Miss Planet
Globe.
International or Miss Globe, you know, just to piss us off. Okay. So, reading some of the comments, MGI hands down. Phil says, Noemi says MGI hands down. MGI, of course. Oh, what about Eco International? Well, Eco International, I thought about Eco International, but I didn't think it had an impact, a lot of impact compared to the other pageants. Plus, Eco is still considered like one of those third tier international pageants. It's in the same league as Miss Charm, I think, at this moment. Plus, so I didn't even consider Miss Eco International. Okay, but Peter, Philip says Peter would say Eco. Okay, whatever.
What about Reinal Internacional del Banano?
Yeah, but those, the International Creed of Banana, International Creed
Yeah.
of
Yeah,
Chocolate,
that's the best pageant.
International Creed of cocoa, coffee, etc. Yeah, all this specialty pageants.
Specialty pageant.
Interesting. Okay, so we're gonna wrap it up. Unless our guests have anything else to add to this year's Best of Pageantry down. Rina,
what's the best controversy?
Controversy. The biggest controversy, you mean? Well, yeah. What else? Queen Anne taking over Miss Universe.
No,
right?
I would
and
actually
doing all these
say
changes.
the whole Miss USA thing was the biggest controversy.
What is it?
That whole Miss USA rigging the
the rigging controversy. Well, yeah, that's true. But I feel bad for should we really feel bad for Miss Montana USA who started the whole thing?
She's probably kicking herself right now.
She's hiding.
We can vote for the most controversial pageant, and it's Miss Universe. It's keeping us entertained.
Controversy in the sense that it had garnered a lot of media attention. Miss Universe / Miss USA. And I don't know if you guys noticed, but Crystal Stewart is back in her social media. She's been posting stuff, but she hasn't really mentioned whether or not she still is the national director for Miss USA.
Her Instagram still says she is.
What about the bidding wars thing? Is she also bidding to get the franchise again, or are there other rivals? Are there other competitors for the Miss USA franchise?
Listen, I think eventually you'll see Paula Sugard only being the caretaker of Miss Universe.
You think?
And she'll be soon out of Miss Universe. Look at all the people that have already left the Miss Universe organization, and the new people that they are including. I think soon we're going to see more changes that are necessarily going to be happy ones for the pageant community.
I think there are only three or four original staff members from the original Trump team who remain in Miss Universe. There's Paula Sugard, who is the president, and then you have Esther Swan, who is the travel companion manager, and Rostan Ogata, he's also another traveling companion, and Carlos Capetillo, who is the license director, just during his resignation. I don't know if he actually resigned or he was let go. We don't know. So I wouldn't be surprised if Paula Sugard is the next to be axed, is the next to go, because they're really doing everything, to restructure the entire organization for the best. So we'll see. All right, guys, thank you so much for joining our group chat tonight. Thank you, Rina, darling, for participating. It's so nice to finally have met you. And people out there, if you haven't followed Rina on her social media, she's on YouTube. Her channel is Rina Hendrick. She does amazing commentaries and reviews of pageants and stuff. Also, please follow my dear friend Brian Javier on YouTube, or Brian Javier Pageants. And of course, please like this channel and subscribe to my channel as well if you haven't done so. And our next topic is going to be what? What can we talk about next time? Any idea?
Miss World is approaching.
Miss World is approaching. So make your list.
There's a lot of good girls.
Start following the newly crowned Miss World contestants, and then we can talk about our pre-arrival favorites for Miss World 2023. Okay, so that's a wonderful idea. Okay, so thank you. Have a wonderful morning to you, Rina. Are you going to have your breakfast right after this?
I'm gonna have some coffee.
Or you're going back to bed?
She's like, finally, time for bed.
Back to bed. And Brian, of course, thank you as usual. And please let me know about those 2 other American girls that you picked. So, okay. And thank you.
It was a pleasure, Rina.
Pleasure likewise. And too bad Peter was not able to make it, and Hector, forget about you. I'm going to kill you next time. No, I'm not, you know what? I'm not going to invite you the next time, okay? Because you keep forgetting to show up. All right. So thank you, our dear beloved Critical Beauty Salon viewers. Without your support, this channel would not be able to subsist. So have a wonderful weekend to all of you guys. Giving you big hugs. French roll kisses. Everybody.
Bye, Rafa. Thank you so much.
Bye.
Thank you, everyone.
Take
Bye,
care.
Rina.
Bye.